This video has taken so much to sit down and film. So much. It's your boy, Young Prince, and I've come here with the book review, sorry, thumbnail, that you didn't ask for. This is The Word Exchange, a novel by Alena Graedon. Let me start off by saying, for the price that I paid for this book,
this big, juicy boy,
it's a good book. That being said, I got this book for $1. Oh, $1. I'm sorry if you hear noise or anything like that. I have 2 cats and a dog and a fiance. So, they're all loud and rowdy as fuck. No respect for the G of the household. Let's talk about this. I feel like we should open with a quote. I wrote that down. That's why you saw me look down to look at it. I think we should open with a quote. And by open with a quote, I mean the first paragraph of the book. On a very cold and lonely Friday last November, my father disappeared from the dictionary. And not only from the big glass building on Broadway where its offices were housed, on that night my father, Douglas Samuel Johnson, chief editor of the North American Dictionary of the English Language, slipped from the actual artifact he helped compose. That was before the dictionary
died.
Letters expiring on the page, before the virus, before our language dissolved like so much melting snow. It was before I nearly lost everything I love. So first off, let me explain to you the circumstances of which I bought the book, why I bought the book, blah, 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 blah. This is made by a somewhat local author to the state that I live in. She lives in Durham, North Carolina. I'm not going to say what city I live in, because stalkers, and I'm looking bomb today, like, can we just purple eyeliner? Yes. I also live in North Carolina. So I was like, local author, I'm a local artist, support the gang. Shameless plug. I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And the back made it sound so interesting. A genuinely scary and funny mystery about linguistic slippage and disturbance. It's also a moving meditation on our sometimes comic, sometimes desperate struggles to speak and listen and to mean something to one another. I went to speech class. I have a really bad stutter at times. I'm partially deaf and no one cares about me. So I was like, this is the book for me. Then I actually read it. Pros. For the first paragraph, you can tell that there's good diction. There's really good storytelling. There's really good character development. It's a genre mashup between like a lot of stuff. Noir, science fiction, romance, and philosophy. But really it's more of like a just straight up mess. Go away, Toothless. Get away. Get away. Get away. It's a straight up mess. First of all, the whole story is like the first paragraph pretty much tells you. The whole first page and then some tells you the entirety of the plot of the book. Like it leaves no surprises. You're not invincible. I see you. They can't see you, but I see you. This is going in the video too. I see you. Anyway, the whole first page of the book.
These are not the drugs you were looking for.
The first page of the book tells the entirety of the book. Like the entirety. The entire plot. Nothing is left up to the imagination. But you don't realize that until the very end. And then you go back like a curious bitch, because I am one, and read the first paragraph and you're like, bitch, that was the story. This book is also a slow burn romance. Right? It says romance in here, but the whole book to me was pretty much romance and everything else was just like back burner because it was so confusing and hard to grasp and super fucking extra. I was just in it for the romance and I didn't even really get a good amount of it for the characters to be so like well written that I wanted more of the love interest. Now, I'll also give it that the main character what's this bitch's name? I don't forgot already. Alena Johnson, is an annoying bitch. But she also was never a damsel in distress, not even for a second. Like if it was a millisecond. She was scared a whole bunch. She was acting stupid a whole lot of the book. She was beating around a bush a whole lot of the book, but she was never damsel in distress. She was a strong woman, I guess, in that she went and did what they told her not to do, to find her father who had disappeared. For that alone, I was like, okay, kind of a G. The diction became horrible for the sake of the plot. Let me actually be in the screen so you can see all this work I put in. The diction suffered greatly for the sake of the plot. And maybe I'm stupid, but the genre mashup, like I said, was a mess. I didn't understand a lot of what was going on because they didn't, or Alena didn't, Miss Graedon, let me call her Miss Graedon because I'm young. She's probably older than me. She didn't go into a whole lot of detail about what was going on. Like, the device they use in here is called a meme. It's called a meme, and they don't even describe what that is. It just, you know, it ain't a cell phone. It's beyond a cell phone, but it's not quite a chip implanted to your head, because they bring one of those in later, so it's not that, but it's also not a cell phone. But it's like a cell phone, like from what I got out of it. Even though she's a strong character, once again, she's annoying, she's problematic. She had like an emotionally abusive fiance that she just couldn't get over. Get down. She had an emotionally abusive fiance that she just couldn't get over. And she was leaving people literally and us left and right to die. Like, she knew, because eventually the plot ends up in a linguistic epidemic that results in actual death. She leaves people that she knows is literally infected with this disease. Just like, boop, I'm not dying, but you are. Like, bitch. So let's read some of the favorite parts of the book, and then I'll explain to you what the book is about, because it's a whole lot of wink wink if you know what that's from. It's a whole lot of. So let's turn to 110, where you see these first linguistic slippages. So basically, her father disappears. I might as well explain why I'm going about it. Her father disappears, and you learn, he talked briefly, literally like a page, about how the little memes would, with this app called the Word Exchange, would anticipate a word that someone couldn't quite remember and would provide the person with that word. But then he started to notice that the words that the Word Exchange was giving people weren't real words, like straight up, and then no one was noticing this. Everyone was like, oh yeah, that's the word, because they were that stupid. This is when it became like the beginning of the end. This is pretty much a third of into the book. The diction begins to change from readable and desirable and eye-catching, hooked me in story plot to when will the end come. And this is only a third of into the book. And Johnny looked queasy. What he said was, honestly, dude, I feel a little eximbo. We all stared at him. I don't know why, but the hair on my neck stood on end. After a moment of silence, Floyd said, eximbo? What does that fucking mean? Johnny looked nonplussed. Eximbo? He said, turning a shade greener. Huh? Vernon cleared his throat. That's what you just said, he offered gently. I did? So basically what has happened is the book starts to put in these little non-words, like non-words in actual text. This is her emotionally abusive boyfriend trying to slide back into her DMs because she finally like grew a fucking brain and was like, no, bruvy. Okay. Listen, sure, he said, I was gonna get you. Didn't your dad Karatz and Aleph? Swanus, I do Jin need one of those. I was silent for a minute, face tingling with resentment and regret. From the corner of my eye, I saw a glint on a high kitchen shelf, the left's power switch. A cold shiver twitched over me, and I was afraid I'd unwittingly looked up and give it away. They're doing it to me. I'd unwittingly look up and give it away. I made myself stare at Max, breathe. If I can cross-show them Brevik happened way before Moan, that I had Maynich to do with it, none is its Lamech my fault. That becomes the whole book. Just sentences like that make no sense. And you're sitting here trying to decipher this shit like code. I love a good cryptogram. This, though, took it to a whole nother level. I just couldn't anymore. I was skipping pages. I was just like, I could fill in the spots really though I can, just so I could get to the end of the book, because the slow burn romance, I just needed to know what happened. And I didn't want to miss any juicy love scenes if they were stuffed somewhere in this. It just becomes the beginning of the end. And then they only briefly mention what the meme is, the thing that this whole book is even about. The meme itself so ubiquitous, so integrated into people's lives that it wasn't seriously suspected either by many people in the beginning. Either. Infected memes produce strikingly similar indications in the victims. Their users also presented with a kind of aphasia, but the meme sickness was benign. It wasn't pathogenic. It was a misfiring of the device. An infected meme had an overreactive propensity to send its user onto the exchange. It anticipated wrongly and overzealously when he'd forgotten a word and needed to have one supplied, but most words it manically provided were neologisms invented by meaning master gamers and sweatshop laborers. So a lot in this book goes on. Beyond the drastic change in, it's literally like a slow burn along with the romance, because the romance is tied into the word exchange and all that's happening with that, because her emotionally abusive ex-fiance is the person who made the word exchange, and then this other game that starts to spread the virus even more crazily, and then a new device that puts chips into people's head that spreads the disease even more, and people are starting to die left and right, and she's getting like a front seat view of it because her dad was also the head of the dictionary. I wanted this to be my first video so bad, but now I'm regretting like even reading this book for the sake of that. I was like, dollar store book, gotta be juicy. It's become more than just that. It is like low-key ruined my life. And I even had my fiance read large sections of this book to me during Hurricane Florence, because that's how long ago I bought this book, was before Hurricane Florence. And I took the storm as an opportunity, because I was so busy at that time, to read a book, and never in my life did I regret not having more than just that one book to read. Like, it was that bad. That being said, let me give you a rating. This is surprisingly a 3.5. It's a 3.5. And it's like a really high 3.5 versus like a very low-key, this book sucked 3.5. This is a high-key 3.5 because there really was good character development. She was annoying and stuff like that, but I knew that it was a part of what was going on, and so that in order for her to not be annoying, she needed to start off that way. The slow burn romance was really good, and the love interest was really cool, but I felt like he should have caught on earlier than what he did to everything that was going on, because he low-key also had like a front seat view of it, saw that things were happening, and he's way smarter than her. Homeboy was like low-key a genius. He spoke multiple languages. He worked at the dictionary as an actual employee. She was there as more of a secretary to her father, like privilege much. And I don't know. It was a lot going on in this book. It was a 3.5. I want to spoil it, but I don't want to spoil it. Because really, there is no real resolution to the problem of the book. They just kind of like, this is everything that happens with her finding her father, because they make that as the main part of the book. She finds her father. Her father's working on the disease because he saw it coming way before they even came out with memes. When they stopped using cell phones, he was like, this is gonna bite you guys in the ass. He was already working on a cure and shit and just wanted her to stay out of his way so he could get shit done. I don't blame him. She's super fucking annoying at the very beginning. And at the very end, she's got the disease. He's her love interest, Bart. Bart is bae. He also has the disease for whatever reason, even though he speaks multiple languages. Like, she's forgetting the English language. And at the end of this book, if the disease gets to a point where you can't speak at all or write, this man can speak multiple languages, and y'all are telling me that he can no longer speak or write, and now he has to go through speech and like writing therapy in order to like get better and stuff so he won't die, blah blah blah. And it was just a whole lot of I hope this isn't like so, like, this is so ranty, this is so unexplanatory. Like, I would definitely recommend this book to other people. I'm not saying don't go out and buy this. This is $1. Like, at least and then it even says bestsellers on the back, on the barcode. I bought this book for $1. My fiance hated reading it to me because the way that the diction drastically turns and starts making no sense. But low key, so go read.
Like, the slow burn romance is good. She's annoying, but it's fun to see her come out of that and become like a strong, like, independent woman. Like, get it, girl.
But also, Bart is bae. I'm gonna wrap the video up here. Read the book. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. I'm giving it a really like strong 3.5 because she's local to my state. I gotta show some love as a local artist myself. Shameless plug. Shameless plug. My next video will probably be a speed paint that I'll also probably try to film tonight. This was an experience.
Go and read the book. It's really not that bad. Her name's super annoying. Like, her name Manana is super annoying to say, like, over and over again. Bart is bae. I really wanted more of him in the book. Her dad was a really cool character, and he's only there for maybe, like, the first fifth of the book. Then he disappears, and you don't even know what he's up to until the very, very, very last bit of the book, and it's super frustrating to just read through Alena shenanigans to find him and, like, the lives that she affects for being stupid. Like, I'm pretty sure there's, like, a character death in here that brought me literally to tears. Like, eyeballed. So it's a good book. It's a good read. It's just super annoying to get through those parts where the language is super jumbled and the words are made up. Like, you really have to decipher through, like, a good, like, beginning, middle, end. This the middle, towards kind of the end of it, like the third of the middle, like the last third of the middle of the third of the... It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a whole lot, but the book is good. Go read it.